Hello and welcome to this first time live coffee chat. If you are here live with me, please fill in the chat where you are from. And if you watch the replay, you're also very welcome to edit in the comments. I'm actually super nervous. It's the first time I'm live on YouTube. So please be gentle with me. I'm trying to make this a thing. Anyway, if you don't know me yet and are here for the first time for whatever reason, welcome. I'm Marin. I'm the designer at Knitterista and honestly the girl for everything. And I love making knitting patterns. So that's basically what we do here. And I first thought I'm going to make a presentation for this. Then I dug into the topic of how to make a YouTube live, and turns out if you want to share your screen, you're gonna have to upload some kind of software. It got really complicated, and I decided to not get lost into the rabbit hole and instead go really old school. So this is what we are going to do. Yep, I have some funny printouts and for all the topics I want to share, and we are going to start with this one. It's it's been a while. I had a little summer break with my family because kindergarten here in Germany gets closed for 3 weeks. School's out for 6, by the way. So it's next year or the year afterwards. I have my son 6 weeks at home during the summer. Yay! That's going to be interesting. Anything. Yeah. So this year we spent some time in the Netherlands. We live in Cologne. That's next to Belgium and the Netherlands, just an hour away. It's really awesome. And we had great luck. We were able to rent a little traditional house. It was super small in a very cute city called Leiden. I've no clue how you say that in English, or even if the people in the Netherlands say it a bit different, probably. That's how I say it. And to give you a bit of an idea, I mean, the Netherlands are super small, and it's in between Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and it's also super close to the beach, to the North Sea. So it was a really cool place to be. And yeah, we also spent one day in Amsterdam. We're able to get there by train, which was super exciting. And the first thing I want to show you is our shopping. I went to Stephen West's yarn store, and I always forget the very cool lady he has it together with, was initially her shop. Melinda? Not sure. I have to find that out. Probably right in the next newsletter. Anyway, so I went shipping and I got this cute bag. And I probably did the same, what you would do. Did board skeins. Okay, the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to buy yarn I could only get there. And there's some special yarns from some other dyers too, but this is Undercover Otter. They are also in Amsterdam. And I've knit with this yarn before in a different color. I have to say, this is amazing. It's very, very beautiful, saturated colors. And this one is, they usually have really strange names. The one I knit before was called Space Chicken. This is below. And it's a mix of merino yarn, silk, and yak. Fingering has a high twist. And honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do out of it. Just wanted to have it. So there you go. Then I had some dyers in mind I always want to try out. One is Live in the Long Grass. They are in Scotland. They have super beautiful colorways. They don't dye with, sorry, they don't dye with natural colors, but they are having eco-friendly way very high in their mind. And this is the single space. It's 100% merino wool. And I have a feeling my mom wants this one. I think she's going to claim it. So this is not high twisted. I'm wondering how you call it. I'll dig into those a bit more. Going to do that next month. Going to talk about that later. All right, and this is the DK. It's also 100% merino. Has a high twist, and it's called Amethyst. I think this is really awesome. So beautiful colors. Okay, so, and now I went a bit nuts. I made the whole yarn story a bit nuts and asked them, do I have in mind that I want to create kind of next something for Valentine's Day? You know, we designers try to go ahead of time, and I will try to get better with that. So I asked everyone, what do you think is a romantic colorway? Show me. And yeah, everybody has another idea. In the end, I did buy this one. For me, this is love. The deep love. It's like a good red wine, you know? And it also, I sort of feel like Valentine's Day, that's the day where you go out for a nice meal, have a glass of wine for sure, if you're not against alcohol. And yeah, this is from work. Funny enough, they are from Germany. Also a DK version. And yeah, we will see what I'm going to make out of it. But yep, bought one skein from them. And then I have one I probably should talk a bit later on. I found this one, Musa. It's a new yarn company I didn't know before. It's also 100% merino wool, fingering weight. Really like the colors together. So okay, maybe it's a cool yarn company to explore, and I like the graphic design, so what's the heck? Just get it. And in the end, if I just use it for a swatch, for fingering, that's okay too. And I did regret it a bit, but I'm going to talk about it later. Okay, next one is those funny guys. Have you ever seen Stephen West sharing them? I always got very jealous. I think they look so cool. So we will see. They say it could be a stitch marker, cable needle. Probably going to find some use for it. And I got some stitch markers. Oh, they're still in the bag. It's all kinds of geometric shapes. I think not super interesting for you. All right, so let's put it back here for now, so I'm not having a super mess on my desk. That's what I got in Amsterdam. Let me know which one do you like best. Maybe I should show them all to you again. Any preferences, put it in the chat, in the comments if you want to. I'm curious. Also, fingering or DK, what's your favorite weight? Okay. Right. So apart from that, our holidays were nice. It's always cool to have some time off, to enjoy family time, and then it's even nicer to come home. Unfortunately, I have to say, we have a lot of rain this summer, so that's a bit of a bummer, but at least it's not dangerous. Okay, so as I had time, of course, I thought about what can I improve at Knitterista. What do I want to do for the next season? And what are the things I do have, some time, some trouble to get done, or what do I vibe with in a good way? And I know that this monthly vlog is one of the things I don't get done in a good way, because it's not really monthly. I got some out, but thanks Elizabeth. Red DK, love it too. Damn it. Sorry. Going to talk about my ADHD in a second too. So here you go. That's one of my problems. I get distracted very easily. So anyway, so back to this vlog, monthly vlog. So the main problem for me is that as I'm a designer for a long time, I have this high aesthetic. You know what I want to reach? My aesthetic is really high level, and when I record it, I try to set up scene, get the light all right, and it always takes such a long time to get in front of the camera. That's the first problem. And I always have just, some hours until my son gets back from kindergarten, and then you kind of need to be able to use the living room again and don't have a studio. And that's one problem. The other problem is when I did record it, I have to edit it afterwards. And editing takes me quite a while. It takes everyone quite a while, but if you do it every day, you get faster for sure. I have other stuff to do, so I'm slow. And I also get I want to get all the ends out, So yeah, that's probably the main reasons why the vlog isn't monthly yet. And I thought this live version should be maybe a good way out. You get the chance to join me. I really love that. I hope you will like that too. And I promised myself to do it until the end of this year, every first Sunday of the month. And yeah, so that's one thing that's going to change. I can't edit afterwards. I try to make my little corner, my working corner, a bit nicer for it, but that's basically it. That's the setup you're going to see me in. And it's good. I like it. It's actually really cozy here. Okay, so that's about the vlog. If you join me on Instagram or follow me on Instagram, I actually want to do more on YouTube, and because I feel like if I do stuff for YouTube, it's better for you. I can get more educational things on here. I can do this live thing, and it's going to stay. The problem with Instagram is that I have to pump in so much in it, and not a lot of people see what I do there. It's a problem all small business owner have. I know all of us are super frustrated by it, and I kind of feel like it's not a good place for me anymore. It used to be. I love to be on Instagram, but they changed over the last years so much and added so much stuff on it, and it's draining me. And I know during my holidays, I actually deleted the app from my smartphone. I could feel how my brain started to rewire. It was kind of scary. I thought, wow, I was so much with my head into Instagram and trying to create something for the platform. That's definitely not a good way to spend my time. So more YouTube, less Instagram. You will see something happening here. And if you don't want to miss what I do here on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. I really want to grow this channel and create things that are helpful for you. And that would be amazing. And you wouldn't miss anything then. All right. Let me think. Okay. Last thing is, if you don't know this, I started to teach on Skillshare. I'll put you the link here below. And the first class is called Smartphone Photography for Modern Makers. It's really made for you if you like to take photos of your knits and want to share it. Doesn't have to be on Instagram, by the way. Ravelry loves those too. This is a very good class to get started and learn all the basics and create better photos and have more fun with it. I really try to make it a whole lot of fun. And so far, the people who watched it really enjoyed it. I got just a really, really nice review for it. So please have a look at it. I will also put you the link here in the show notes. So when this uploads afterwards as a recording, you can click on it and have a look at it. All right. Yeah, I wanted to create a new one, but honestly, the summer break and also my ADHD got the better of me, so it's going to take a little longer. I'm very sorry. And that brings me to the next topic. Knitting with ADHD. So it's something I thought over the summer break about how I got in. Of course, I got deeper into the ADHD research for myself, and but I also had a lot of chats with people who have ADHD too, or other neurodiverse things going on, and I feel like I can help you. I have so many ways around trying to get stuff done for myself, and I mean, because I do the knitting patterns, I kind of have to, that's a bit of a different motivation to figure out how to get things done. And yeah, that's a topic I would like to talk more about, make some videos or blog posts for. I haven't 100% figured out how to do it, but it's it's something I feel like not many people talk about, and I thought it might be a good idea to get started with it. So with this, I probably should talk a bit about my own ADHD. Let me get a sip here for a moment. In case you're wondering, it's already late here, but doesn't matter. I drink coffee all day. So I got tested at the beginning of this year for ADHD, and turns out I have it. But the story is a bit longer. It actually started before that, and I've been on a coaching program from Jessica Breeze. She has the designer name, or her brand name is Snickerdoodle Knits, and she has a coaching program for knitting designers. Sorry. And one of my colleagues shared very cool tips out of the box, and I remember that one day we had a chat, and I asked her, how do you kind of organize your time, because that's something I struggle with a lot. And she said, okay, describe me a bit, what's your problem? I did write her back, and she said, you know what, I think you are like me. You are kind of somebody who's chasing for the next shiny object. And I'm like, might be. And then she told me, I think you have ADHD. And I was like, what are you talking about? And in my mind, and many minds, I believe, I had this, this bouncing. I'm actually sitting on a bouncing ball. But anyway, so I had this bouncing little boy in my head. Sorry. I also got a bit of a cold because it's raining all the time. It's crazy. I'm wondering, where am I? I had some kind of stuff for it, but okay, it's somewhere. All right. So first I was like, ADHD and me, that doesn't feel right. I'm not a super energetic person who always feels like has to move. I'm kind of the opposite. It's a hard thing for me to get me into doing sports, and still she made me kind of thinking about it and I was intrigued, so I started to research it. And I started to research it, by the way, in German first, and it was like, oh my god, super medical language, complicated, and it felt like doomsday. And I said, no way, I'm not reading this. This is not helpful. And then I found, thank goodness, some people in America who have a podcast and clinic and blog posts and so on, and wrote books, and that all felt much more in sync with me and much more helpful. And the more I read about it, and I read about it in a way that it is for women, having women in focus and adult women in focus, I felt like, yep, shit, that's me. So sorry, took me a while to let it sink in. Then I went to the testing, mainly because I felt like that's a way I would have a chance to get help. But also I felt like my husband didn't believe me that it even is a thing. It took quite a while for him to believe that it is a thing. And I wanted to have it black on white. I hope that's kind of understandable. So I went into testing, and it says I have it, and I feel like ever since then I'm realizing it even more, and realizing it even more also lets the denial go. Because I realized that at the beginning I was kind of blocking all the negative talk about it, and now it's all sinking in. It's very hard to honestly to deal with it in a good way. And it's not cool. Honestly, it's not cool. It does have its perks too, makes it very creative. But on the other hand, let me give you an example. Yesterday, or I think the day before, I cooked some potatoes, and it was in the evening, so a bit out of the regular schedule, and I totally forgot about them. So about 20 minutes later, I come into the kitchen, and the whole potatoes are boiling like crazy, and I'm like, oh fuck, I completely forgot that I'm even cooking. And it was okay, nothing happened, potatoes were still good. But if I wouldn't have stumbled into the kitchen at that moment, it could have gone really much worse. And those are the moments that actually scare the shit out of me. So if you don't know what ADHD is, sorry, I should have started there. ADHD is it's not an illness. It's really probably more like a DNA thing. You can inherit it. Most of the people actually inherit it from their parents. It's neurodiverse brain. From what I understand, is basically that the brain doesn't produces as much dopamine, and that is the kind of stuff that brings us things from left to right or front to back. I'm not super good at explaining it. I've never studied medicine, so if you're interested, maybe have a look at it. I want to talk about it more, and then I will give you some decent links for it to figure it out. It does have different areas and different under topics that makes it also really hard to explain. One thing is that people with ADHD often forget time. The other thing is focus, and I feel like it's a bit like a yin and a yang, or it always goes into the extreme. So with focus is most of the time you have a problem really staying focused on one topic. But if you find a topic that's really interesting for you, you only stay on that topic, and it's super hard to get out of it. And that's something I remember I've ever since I'm a kid. So yeah, that's ADHD. All right. If you have any questions, again, please put that in the chat. If you also have ADHD, if you know that you are neurodiverse, if you are autistic or so, please let me know. I'm always happy to find other people and chat with you, maybe a bit more in private if you like that. Also, if you have struggles with, let me know. I already know some, like having a lot of cast-ons and work in progress. You will never finish. Kind of forgot it. If you don't know where to start again, kind of having trouble to keeping in mind how the pattern works. And I feel like a lot how I write my patterns, how I design my patterns, and also how actually the layout of my patterns is based on my own struggles, and knowing that, for example, I need space in my knitting patterns. I do print them out, and then I want to be able to write things in there. And if the whole page is filled up with the pattern, I don't have space for it, and then it's getting really ugly, and I'm not able to put in helpful notes. So that's one reason why my layouts are as they are. Okay. All right. So I have some notes here. It's not going to be super shitty. Next topic is I did write kind of new green knitting. Kind of new topic. Green knitting. Being totally honest, I know that green is a super broad headline and could be anything. Sustainably or eco-friendly would be a bit better. But yeah, anyway, I decided to make it broad in this case and go deeper with time. And I know I tried to talk about sustainability a bit more earlier on every time and then, but I always find it a hard topic, but I know it's also one thing. No problem. All cool. I'm super happy that you write in the chat where you are from. Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that brings me to a great topic. I feel like you might be somebody who got the problem too. So I find it very hard to talk about sustainability, but I know that it is very close to my heart, ever has been. And this summer was really hard. And I bet a lot of you had some kind of extreme weather. Like I know a lot in the US had wildfires. Also, one of my best friends lives in Canada, and we had a chat one day. I remember that, and she showed me how it looks outside of her window. It was all red. It was super, super crazy. Here in the north of Europe, we have rain all summer long. Yesterday, part of Germany got ice rain. It was so. Let's face it, climate change is happening, like it or not, and Knitterista is kind of my happy place, and I want to, thank you. I want to add this. I just want to add it. I want to add it. We need to get going. I have several things in mind, and no rain for over a month in Texas. Oh yeah, I know. Texas suffered like hell this summer, right? Well, wildfires in the south of Europe, in Greece, it was really bad. So it's all kind of out of order, and it's going to be worse. I also have a 5-year-old son. I really don't want to leave this planet like this. I want to get it in better shape. And I just had a really long chat with my husband about it. And I always feel like my husband is kind of doing everything I want in that case. So he's a good guy, and he's gutmütig would be the German word. I'm just missing the English for it. But anyway, he's a good guy. Just let it stay like this. But I don't feel like he's very, active on it and thinking a lot about it. And I ask him what struggles he has with these topics and what needs to happen to get him into a bit more of an active and proactive state. And we kind of got to the same point where it took us a while because it feels a bit different for everyone. It's hard to put into words. So we both have problems when this topic is discussed in a way that it's getting doomsday serious and taking all the fun out of life. And the same goes for knitting, by the way. If people start to talk about it in a very illiterate way, that's something that makes me super angry, because I feel like we all need to be able to understand it. And if we having the scientists talk, explaining to us everyday people, not non-scientists, if you want to, we are not going to be able to understand it. And that's the main problem, is education and understanding what you can actually do. And the other thing is, we don't want to, if you start getting into the topic, you're starting to feel guilty. And you gotta understand that the moment you get on this planet, that it's no way you can't get it right every time, and you won't be able to have no footprint, by the way. You can do things to kind of balance it out, but you won't be able to make none. So there's no help in, there's absolutely no help in feeling guilty, and that's something that comes from yourself. But I also hate people who shame, and I know this is happening inside the knitting community, and that's one thing why I feel it's super hard to talk about it, because I'm not interested in shaming anyone. I want to help you to, and myself too, by the way. I want to help us to educate ourselves, understand better what is helpful, what is not helpful, what we can do, and make this planet a better place, hopefully. And by the way, what I kind of triggered at the moment, is when I've been yarn shopping on my holidays, I bought this yarn. And I thought it's maybe a cool new yarn company. I haven't heard about it, and could be a good collaboration partner. You never know. So I did buy the yarn. Afterwards, I looked at the website and was like, shit, they're not doing those things the way I want them. So just to give an example, I really try to get better collaborations, and this is not a hand dyer, this is really a yarn company, and I have kind of different standards for yarn dyers and companies. I'm going to explain that a bit more in depth later, but they are just buying the wool on the big markets, and they don't care where the wool is coming from, how it is made, and that's kind of a no-go for me. And I thought, damn, I bought the yarn, shit. But yeah, this will happen. I don't have the perfect yarn stash. Honestly, God, I don't have the perfect yarn stash. I learned a lot during the last years, and yeah, it just is what it is. I don't want you to feel bad about what you already have. I want you to talk about how to move forward in the future. And also, I don't want you to get rid of your stash just because, That's one of the worst things. We produce so much stuff and then we don't like it and we throw it away. And I feel like that's really the worst part. So keep it, enjoy it, knit with it. We're going to talk about this kind of things more, especially starting in September. And one thing I have two things at the moment I'm thinking about. One is for the upcoming collection for autumn. I will show you in a second, or actually in some minutes. I want to donate a part to an organization I found that feels very in sync and for the topic I've chosen for this collection. And I'm going to introduce you to all of it when the first pattern comes out in September. The other thing is that I'm thinking about making a podcast and talking about fibers and yarn and really trying to dig into it, and then also bring in the sustainability part. Yeah, that's the other idea. Okay. That was heavy on my heart. Really made me super nervous. Super nervous. I could talk a bit more about what I probably should do that. Talk a bit more about what sustainability in a good way is for me. So we obviously need good politics. Thank goodness I live in Germany and I have the opportunity to vote for parties and politics who put these topics right at the front, and I did that. I do that for a lot of years, and I feel like that's kind of mostly what I can do. I'm not a politician, and I'm not good with organization in any way. Bureaucracy actually gets me into panic mode. So other people are much better at it. And then there's the other thing, and that is kind of trying to show good way of living, how you could improve your lifestyle in your daily life, and also introduce you to products and companies who do things in a way that are sustainable. So that's actually my main point with the whole yarn thing. And I mean, I know that the knitting community often likes traditions, and I feel like it's often the answer. Often the answer is start a farm, live very remote, have your own sheep, and then spin your yarn again. And if you can do that, and this is your life, this is super cool, please do that. It's just, I'm a city girl, and I know for me and for many other people, this is not the way, this is not going to work. And I'm also not interested in living like 1800 again, because then I would have to do this whole house chores all the time, and I could not do this fun stuff with you. So I'm always looking for kind of innovative, creative versions. How can we make this a good topic? What companies are creating in a new way that's still fun, makes a great product, and it's kind of the base to get it in a sustainable way, but it still looks cool. And yeah, okay, so that's my approach. I feel like it's very out of order with the knitting community, but yeah, that's kind of my way of thinking it, and I hope I can be like an additional source that's maybe missing. Maybe I only feel it's missing. I don't know. So If anybody would like to put something in the chat, I would love to know if you would like to have a podcast that digs into the topic of yarn mostly, and then adds into the sustainability part. That's interesting. I would love to hear that. So yeah. Okay. So next topic. And that stone is off my heart. Anyway. So new collection will come in September. This month, in August, we will have a pattern update. And I have those here, but it's getting super dark here. So let me get them. I hope by now you know me good enough and know that I do love bandana cowls. That's my first one. It's the Adam and Eve Bandana Cowl. And last summer, on my summer holidays in the Netherlands, I made Adam and Eve. Actually, for my mom first, because I asked my mom what she wants to have for her birthday, and she said she wants to have this cowl. And I started with it, I was thinking like, oh, this is boring. I need another one because I already have some. I wanted to do something new, so I decided to switch the stitch patterns and have the main stitch pattern with a garter in stockinette, and then this details you can see here, and those are here stuck in the original. It's stockinette, and here it's the other way around. The main is stockinette, and the details on garter stitch. Yes, please, for the podcast. Awesome. Okay. I always felt that this one is a bit longer. It's longer because the stitch pattern, garter gets much shorter. And I felt like it just doesn't, it might be nice to have a shorter way for it. I also know for me, it was no problem to knit it in with one skein, but some of my test knitters really struggled with it and needed some extra yarn. I didn't want that. I wanted to be the one skein wonder, because just like I do, you probably do the same, buy this beautiful hand-dyed yarn and then have the skein lying around and wondering, what I'm going to do with you. So that's what the pattern is made for. So I made a shorter version now. So it needs blocking. I'm going to do this after our chat, but this one is quite a lot shorter. And it's just going to be a pattern update. I'm going to add it. So you get, see, a lot shorter, like half of it. But it's also, I'm going to show you the purple one again. So I made this so you can put your nose under it or flip it inside and have a double. But I also felt like for some people, they might not know what to do with all the stuff, and then it looks a bit strange. So the shorter version doesn't have that problem. It's just going until here. Okay, so this will be the update. I will also make some more tutorials for you guys, because a very special way to block my bandana cowls. And I'm going to make a tutorial for that. I'm also going to make a tutorial how to make a tassel. As you can see, there's no tassel on it, but it's kind of an option for all the bandana cowls, and it's kind of missing, especially on YouTube. So I'm going to make that one. I'm also working on a head design. That's what I have on the photo in my hand, the yellow yarn. And I thought I'm going to show you this. I have no clue, honestly, when I'm going to bring this one out. But I wanted to make a hat that works for both patterns. And I've been dreaming about a classic double layer hat, and like where you have 2 layers, and if you want to, you can also make a brim. And struggled with the idea because I'm kind of used to working magic loop for the crown shaping at the end, but I hated to get started with just 8 stitches or so. It's kind of and I had a look at several tutorials how to do that, and I know there are fancy cards on how to do it. Didn't feel right. So, and I tried it once with another design and thought, I feel like my fingers are breaking. If you know what's the problem, I hope you know what I'm talking about. So with this one, I actually found the solution, and because the first part is going to be garter. It's kind of one half is garter, the other half is stockinette. And let's be honest, garter stitch is much nicer to work flat than in the round. With this kind of patterns, I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to knit a whole per round or row. I just want to knit, get it done. It doesn't take forever. It's just a hat. So I decided to get started here and knit the first half flat, and then you have to sew it later on. But when you did the first half, you're going to join, and then you knit the stockinette in the round. So that's my prototype. It's a bit short, just to try out if everything works like I want it to. And as you can see, I still have to sew it together. And yeah, I'm going to work on it and try to make it a nice pattern. Thank you. Glad you like the idea too. Yeah, then you can make a hat that works for both and just, make it this way, make it that way. And if you fold it up, then the brim will work with the crown together, and here too. See? Super cute. What did you write here? Super cute in self-striping. Oh yeah, you can definitely do that. And hey, if you like a hat like this, I'm not sure if I would like to wear a super, super colorful hat, but that might be me. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to work on it. I feel it's going to take a bit longer, but so that's the update for this month. Let me have a look if I forgot anything here. Oh, I also made a video tutorial. I did knit the whole cowl with video on. So if you got any struggles with those bandana patterns before, there will be one that helps you visually to get it done. Okay, if you don't want to miss out on any of these updates, I highly recommend signing up for my I'm signing up for my newsletter. I'm going to put the link also in the show notes. And that brings me to the next knitting part. That is upcoming test knits. So I made another bandana cowl. I also made it again, like the others. It's written for fingering, sport, and DK. And this time I also knitted in fingering, sport, and DK. That's awesome yarn support. And 2 of them are already finished. So kind of finished. Needs to be blocked, needs a tassel, needs to sew in the end. But yeah, that is the Ahoy Bandana Cowl. Here comes DK. And I am on the last rounds in fingering. So that's going to be the next test knit, somewhere around the middle to the end of August. And if you want test knit for me, you are very welcome to sign up as my test knitter. I have a email list just for test knits, and I think there are a lot of people already on it. Anyway, I still love to have new people on it. I will need quite a lot of test knitters, and that's why I would highly love to have you on the test knit list, and I'm going to link that one too. So the other pattern I've shown you before, it's my water wrap, and oh man, I'm take my sweet time to write that pattern, but it's really a bit too dark here. Anyway, that is a classic cocoon wrap. It's very cozy, and I hope I will be able to write the pattern, finally get it done to the end. I started with it, but get it done at the end of next week. This one is already, the bandana cowl is already in at my tech editor. We're going to start working on it together on Monday, and this one has a follow-up. So I hope I'm going to get it into test knit at the end of August, maybe at the beginning of September. So, but yeah, okay, those are the upcoming test knits. Here's ADHD. Yeah, it's quite a lot of people, honestly. I think it's about 10% of the population, and there's still a big dark number around it, so it's not super unusual. If he's still young, he probably and has good people around him. It's probably can get really good help. So ask me anything, Q&A. So for this first time live, I didn't manage to put on kind of a questionnaire or so. I want to do that for the next ones, so that you can add questions. Sorry. That you can add some questions or send me questions before I'm going to go live. And if you are not able to join live, I can answer your question anyway. It's going to get recorded. I hope I get that all done. But yeah, and I definitely want to help you answer questions. If you have some for me, somebody asked me where I'm from. I'm going to answer that in a second. But if you have other questions, please put it in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything that's kind of that you would like to know. And yeah, so I'm from Germany. I live in Cologne. It's very close to the border of Belgium and the Netherlands. One of the questions I get, not a lot, but from time to time, is why am I doing this in English and not in German? Or why don't I do it with both languages? So the reason why I don't do it with both languages is, for once, it's already a lot of work. Doing it in 2 languages is more than overwhelming. And I honestly, during the summer break, ask somebody if I try to find somebody to translate my patterns in German, in German, from English to German. And I was a bit shocked, to be honest, because that lady wanted to have much more money than my tech editor. And I have to say, my tech editor, I know, is not, doesn't charge me a whole lot of money, but she's very experienced, and I felt like that doesn't feel like a good deal. So if you know somebody who translates knitting patterns from English to German, please let me know. If you do that on your own, please send me an email, put it in here, let me know how to contact you. That would be awesome. I would like to try that. It kind of feels affordable to me, and in a way that makes sense because I know how many patterns I sold, and I would start with those I just showed you with the first bandana cowls and see if people like that. So that's something I'm willing to do. Apart from that, I don't feel like I'm able to write my newsletter in English and German. If you're my newsletter, you know, they are quite long. Like, how really big a love child. I love writing my newsletter. It goes out every Friday, but it takes me several hours to write it, quite honestly. And yeah, so there's no way to do it in 2 languages. The reason why I do it in English is because I love being part of an international crowd. And I honestly, one of my favorite parts is having a test knit and everybody at the beginning tells you where they are from. And I usually have a lot of people from the US, and then I have some Canadians, and I have some from Europe, and even in Europe they are from Sweden and from Paris and from Germany too. And it's a really cool mix, and I love that. I wouldn't have that if I would do it in German, and I think that's really the main reason. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. If you have others, like I said, give it to me. I'm happy to answer everything. For now, I see that our hour is quite at the end. And my last print out here, we give you a big thank you for hanging here with me. And this is really cool. I really like that. I'm super happy that actually you guys showed up here. I didn't expect anyone to come. And yeah, let's do it again next month. And just had a look at my thing. Nothing. Oh, Laura, you're the best. So have a really nice Sunday. However much time. That was bad English. Anyway, so how much time you have left for me? It's 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to hang a bit on the sofa with my husband, going to knit more of this cowl, and yeah, then go to bed. I hope you will have some more nice hours, and I'm going to see you next month. Bye.